Houston, we have a problem.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka, Draziv, guys. If you're watching us from YouTube, do comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're watching us from realtruthseekers.com, rts.video, yes, rts.video is one of our main sponsors. rts.video. All right, I just wanted to do a check. You guys still hear me? Because my energy just went off. All right.
Hey, I'm
So, okay. Cool. So we are back, guys. We want to apologize to our viewers and listeners that we were missing from past 1 month. So here, at least where I am, is in summer, many things to organize and many things to do. So also for us to reflect on what we all covered in the last few months. Also, it's good for us to, move things inside, because it's just so much of information and truth that we are sharing here that sometimes it's not easy to digest, right? And you still need to connect dots and get in more deeper, right? So it helps also to take some time, the break we take, and also for the summertime table, we are 2 hours more further. So we do that. So welcome back, guys. And for today's show, we have our co-host, Gene. Gene, brother, how are you? How have you been doing?
Hey, Vikka. I'm doing really good, brother. Having a good summer. Good to be back and see everybody. I do miss the podcast when we're not around, that's for sure. But life is a very busy place, and really appreciate all you guys being here. And welcome. We got a good show. You might think it's a little late for this. Might not have heard this in the news, but I definitely think it's worth attention because of the things that happen around, before and after, and during this whole little scheme that happened about a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Thanks again, and we'll have fun.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try to dig in a deeper on it. The real purpose of all this crap show, right? All right. Welcome, brother. And Keith, how have you been doing?
Hey, Vika, good to be with you guys again. Yeah, I've missed being here with you too. But yeah, summertime is super busy, especially with someone with like me with so many kids. There's always something going on, another party or something. But yeah, it's good to be back. This should be a short and sweet show tonight. I didn't watch much at all of the mainstream point of view of this. I watched a very little bit, and of course, I have an alternative perspective, which I'll share a little bit of that tonight. But yeah, good to be back with you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. And finally, we have Evelyn. Evelyn, how are you?
Hello, how are you guys? Good to be back after a few weeks, and it's a very interesting topic this because I've been seeing some reactions of people to this, and most of them are hilarious, of course. But yeah, there's a serious side to it, and yeah, I can't. I'm curious to share your thoughts with you.
Oh yeah. So submersible. We all know what was happening a month back, like about the whole idea about this submarine and these billionaires going down and all the attention these people got, you know. And just a month before in the Mediterranean, there was a whole ship with maybe 200 people was sunk, and there is no news about that, right? So only
Really?
that exactly. Yep.
Wow. I
Just because
mean,
they were immigrants, yeah, right? The ones who are looking to go to Europe through
yeah.
Africa and different countries. Yeah, it happens
Okay.
on.
Okay. Yes, I seem to remember hearing something, but I didn't know the number of people. So,
And
but
the woman was arrested. The German woman was arrested for asking to rescue these people, and she was arrested, right? So
oh yes,
the world is upside down, right?
Wow, that's really crazy. I didn't
yeah,
hear anything about that. Nothing.
Yeah, it's very common that in the Mediterranean and through Atlantic, lots of immigrants try to get to Europe, you know. So it's many die in the process, you know, because they're not very well equipped for these journeys. So the same way you guys have there in the US with the border and everything, the same thing is around here, Europe. In this part of the world, is especially Mediterranean and the East Atlantic. So yeah, the thing is, all these lives is gone. It is no worth the news, but all these bloodsucker billionaires who own and capitalize on everything, they get all the resources put in there to search these people.
Right.
And to begin with, why the hell like the taxpayer money need to go into rescue these people? What are they are right? So could be that these billionaires are just sent somewhere else, right? And in this whole show that they have done is a
Yeah,
distraction.
it just goes back to that the world is a stage, and at some point it seems like certain people just exit the world stage and they disappear, never to be seen from or heard from again. Whether it's the conspiracy theory about Tupac or the basketball player, what was it, Kobe with the helicopter? I mean, when that happened, I was like, "Are you kidding me? How can a multi-millionaire, whatever he was, die in a helicopter crash when they have helicopters all day, every day through LA?" So I've looked into that one real short and brief. And if you look at a helicopter crash, you see one plume of black smoke. If you look at Kobe's crash, there's two plumes of white smoke. So it's completely, uh, I think it's completely bogus. I think Kobe and whoever else he wanted to, they just exited the world stage, didn't want anybody else to know who they are, where they were. And I feel, I mean, this is just my opinion, my conspiracy, whatever. The billionaires did the same thing. They just exited the world stage.
Exactly, because they can't be so stupid. How the hell are they billionaires if they don't have people around who are doing their research and work and everything before even they take a step? You know how really a billionaire would be, right?
Yeah, a $30 remote control for a video game. I mean, no billionaire would even. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the entire
I-
electric system was designed by college kids. Not to take the smartness away, but you'd want like a seasoned engineer to design the electric work on a submersible going down 2.5 miles under the ocean.
Well, I think part of it too is the fear tactics that, again, this is just my crazy conspiracy of the Challenger hoax that none of the actors or the astronauts were on the Challenger when it exploded. It's kind of the same thing that, they didn't want a bunch of people signing up to be astronauts and going to explore space. So they create this disaster and people are like, oh, I'm not going to be an astronaut. I'm not going to risk blowing up and being blown to bits and pieces. So now maybe they don't want people exploring the bottom of the ocean. They don't want people with some kind of a drone submersible that, was created in their backyard going down and seeing what's down there, because God knows how many lost cities or shipwrecks or whatever else is down there that we don't know about.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're killing many birds with one arrow by doing this.
yeah.
That's a good point, Keith. You know, there's these submersibles are going to be cheaper and more accessible to anybody. And if you know the story of the Titanic and allegedly how it sunk with the J.P. Morgan story and the 4 billionaires that were trying to stop the Fed.
Yeah.
And J.P. Morgan was supposed to be on there, and he bailed out, the last hour. So you look at the similarities between them. I think you're onto something there. With they're gonna be a lot of regulations and more restrictions on travel and your own entertainment through stuff like this.
Well, it seems to me that the whole system is fear based, that they're constantly trying to scare people. So, if they don't want people searching the ocean floor, let's create another little disaster and scare people from even thinking about going down there.
Right.
So, I mean, I saw a funny meme. I think it was today or yesterday. It was an old picture of a wolf going after a herd of sheep, like in the 1800s. It said a fox. Yeah, it was a fox. It said a fox scaring the sheep in 1820s, and then it showed a fox scaring the sheep in 2023, and it was a bunch of people watching Fox News on their TV screen. So whatever comes across, it doesn't matter if it's Fox or CNN or what it is, anything mainstream media, I believe, is geared towards mind control, especially fear.
100%. That's
Yeah.
the Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what they took over. That was when the feds took over all forms of media, TV, radio, all the broadcasting, all that, CB, ham radio, all of that stuff. All the airwaves, the magazines, like there's no end to what they took over under that one, in the means of information.
Yeah, if anybody who looks into that just a little bit, you have to walk away saying, wow, we really do live in a scripted reality. All this news that we get, whether it's TV or newspaper or magazines, it's coming from very few sources. And I think all those sources collaborate with each other. So.
And the other thing could be also that they don't want the people to go down, is because if the people go down and see that there is no Titanic there, it's just a ship, any ship, a crab fishing fish, could be anything, and it's absolutely possible. Yeah.
Well, either that, if there's nothing there, like Hollywood's trying to say, all the National Geographic pictures you see of that of the railing on the front of the ship. That could be in a pool somewhere in Nevada, for all we know. And if it really is in the bottom of the ocean, on the bottom of the ocean, there's a lot of rumors to say that the iceberg wasn't the reason that thing sank, and an iceberg would have pushed the metal into the boat, where an explosion would have pushed the metal out of the boat. And that's something that they might not want people to really see, that there was an explosion, not a crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be just another gatekeeping information of, like, trying to confuse the people more, so they maybe, oh, it was an explosion, so the people are what they want is that the people speak about it, even if it's real or not, so someone is saying, hey, it wasn't the iceberg, but it was an explosion. The other was saying it wasn't that, but it was another ship, right? So there's so many different conspiracy about that Titanic, and what he's only doing is helping them to, that is creating that hype about that whole incident.
There's even a post going around in Facebook of a newspaper article from the Titanic, that they were all saved. That every people, I don't know how many, I think a couple of thousand. So it wasn't that many anyway.
Right.
That many people, many passengers, but that something had happened, but they were all safe. So maybe that was also misleading to start all these conspiracies.
Oh yeah, they're capable of doing any kind of false flag in these days. So imagine this 100 years or how much, whenever this was done, how well
Yeah.
they could have like organized this false flag, and the people literally like falling for it, right?
Yeah.
And the best part is the timing about that Federal Reserve they are speaking about, and the oil, and the JP Morgan, the Rothschild. So it's all a game going on there.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody has ever heard of a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island, it's I haven't read it, but I've read a bunch of it and heard a bunch from it, and it's a detailed story on how the Fed came to be what the Federal Reserve is today, and it's a pretty interesting story, and it's very linked up with the Titanic. But that whole entire story on how that became to be and how we think this is normal is interesting
Talking
story.
about books, there was somebody saying that there's also a book written just before the 1900s. It is 1890 something, and it was a fiction, and it was about a cruise ship that sank
Oh, right. I did
due
hear a
to an
little bit about
iceberg.
that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
A lot before that, then it happened. So it was already prepared for the.
yeah, pre-programming, it's a predictive programming, just like the stories from the 50s and 60s over satellites and all that thing.
Exactly, and I even saw something that it was showing that the Titanic was in a scrapyard, and another ship called Olympic was sunk,
Olympic.
and then
Yes,
yeah,
the
but
owner had two boats, the Olympic and the Titanic. And the Olympic was getting old. It was going to
Crashed a
be
few times.
decommissioned.
Sure.
Yeah, it was going to be decommissioned, just scrapped. So they actually changed the Olympic for the Titanic and just sank the Olympic.
oh yeah, also to get the insurance, right? The
To
insurance
get the
money.
insurance, yes. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, if the Olympic would have sunk, it was already out of service.
I remember catching a glimpse of the location of all of this, and I wondered to myself, it looked a little far south for icebergs to me. But
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it, but it doesn't mean it don't make any sense. It just looked a little far south. I didn't realize it was so close to the United States either.
Well, when you trace the course, it comes really, really close to the Arctic Circle.
Hmm.
That's why they got, icebergs. But
Does that
if
course
that,
make sense? What?
oh, on a flat Earth, yes.
Ha
Ha ha ha. And what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't remember anymore. I lost
Yeah,
my
and
train.
the people that were involved at that time. So it could be just this, that these people were just like kidnapped and put somewhere else, right, instead of the ship, and the whole narrative of the ship was created that it happened and all.
Mm. Yeah, yes, that's another option. They could have been
Really?
not on the ship, and then the narrative was that they were on the ship, and they all just sank with the ship and down with it. Yeah, that's another option. Yes.
You know, you got to also check out who these people were on board. One of the
Mm.
guys was a board member of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and I just had a post pulled ripping on something they said, and they deleted the whole entire post. It's gone from the NASA website. They're affiliated with NASA. So one of the guys was aboard a SETI. One of the other guys was like a CEO of the manufacturer of the Ohio train wreck last month, and then another guy was like a CEO of what was it? American Airspace Safety Organization, something like that. And they're the people who study UAPs, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon. So the position of these people are kind of strange. And like you say, really, a billionaire's going to go into a sub that was not really qualified to be down there in a few different ways. And so I don't think they went down there. I think
No, I
that
think.
any video was a dog and pony show,
Yeah,
and it could have been done in a pool somewhere else to
yeah.
just to
If they weren't actually in the sub, I think it was then probably more of a symbolic um, thing going on there, some kind of ritual.
that could be. I don't think they were on there. There was a kid on there
No,
too, and then
no,
and
they
then
weren't.
when not to like rip on heartstrings or anything, but has anybody heard a word from any of the families or anything after that? The day after they stopped talking about it, you don't hear anything at all,
Mm,
and that's all
yes,
very
this,
suspicious to me.
yeah.
You never
No
hear anything
remembrance,
from the families.
no
No,
service, no remembrance, nothing.
nobody's on Oprah crying and pulling their heartstrings and this and that. It's like, right, it's just propaganda and
Mm,
geared to strip us of any freedoms we have. Yeah, and they would pass while that was going on. They passed fake meat in the United States. That supposedly Russia just said, if you try that here, you go to jail for that. We don't hear these things on the news, so it's all conspiracies. Everybody's favorite word.
Or could be also that if these people were real, that they owed money, or it's that they want the insurance of a big insurance if they die, So there could be also if some agenda of that, to just create this whole stuff that, oh, they're gone missing, and the companies needs to pay because they were important people, It's
Big money swap for a tax break.
mm. It probably tackles a few of these of what we've been discussing, and and life insurance, just like you said, and maybe some ritual stuff going on, a false narrative, a false flag. It can incorporate
Restrictions.
everything in one go.
Yeah. Like the girl on the plane, also. Just they're gonna get restrictions out of that. I bet you.
The funny thing is that they're just showing how vulnerable they are, and even their high tech is gonna work, is not working. Their high tech.
Good point. How vulnerable it is.
As we said, like the nature is unforgiving, and we are here. If we are speaking about pressure, they're speaking about just going down 4 miles. They need how many, 2.5 to 3 hours just to. How the hell these astronauts are going to the vacuum of space in few minutes, as if they are just going on a hike to a in a garden or something. The human is not capable of taking this pressure of that dense water. What the hell the vacuum can do to a human being,
Yeah, really.
right?
And I heard that the pressure is the equivalent of if you take an elephant standing on 1 foot, that pressure with 200 elephants on his back, all over every square inch, would be the pressure equivalent to what they had to go through. So that's a lot of elephants.
That's a lot of elephants, yeah.
Yeah. And they made it out of carbon fiber, which was not the ideal material from what I understand. And if anybody saw anything about the recovery, that was pure Hollywood Mickey Mouse garbage, as far as I could tell. I'm not an expert, but I tell you what, that thing looked like they were putting it in the water, not taking it out of the water after an accident. It looked brand new. And by the time I saw the footage, it was dry, and it looked like it didn't have a scratch on it. It looked phony. It looked all fake. And I think you're right too, Vikka. This is all litmus test to see who's going to cry and who's going to say, "Yeah, nah." And the people that cried, that fall for this stuff
It
because
was it was
people
supposed to be
died. How could you say it didn't happen? People died. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't.
it was supposed to be imploded
Right.
from the
Like
pressure. I mean, I haven't seen that bit of them
the
taking it out.
recovery. I'll send you guys the recovery video that I have. I saved it.
Did it look crushed?
No, it was what you saw was they had a tarp half draped over it, being picked up by a crane, and it looked like the nose looked like when they dropped it in the water. From what you saw.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It looked like they were putting it in the water rather than taking it out after the crash. I swear to you.
Yeah, and they didn't find anything, any body parts, right? It's all imploded, but they didn't find anything. They just found that piece to show that they found something. And after so many days, that when they die, like they could have located it if they have the tech what they speak about, they should have located it in the moment. They speak about Starlink connected to it, right? And all that different application connected to it. What the hell? Where is your Starlink? Where are your satellites? You're sending us images of 5 billion light away galaxies or moons that have life under their sea, and you freaking cannot locate a tube
Human.
which is connected to your Starlink crap. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where's your technology? Yeah.
Yeah, they can
They
tag they can tag sharks and whales and everything
exactly.
and track them.
Yeah, for over
Yeah,
a year,
they were tracking even the last turtle, I think so. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's how they rub it in our faces like that. They, like you can't go to Antarctica for safety reasons, but you can go to Mount Everest and go kill yourself. There's 200 bodies on Mount Everest. People climb over the bodies to get to the top because you can't really get helicopters up there safely. but they got flying helicopters on Mars, remote control again from Earth. Come on, this is like a litmus test to see who's really falling for this garbage.
Yeah.
And they will. Anything they say, they say anything, and the people just like, yeah. So it's comical.
Yeah, and the indoctrinated sheeps get excited about all the text, but when you speak about what's happening right now, where is it? Where is your technology to locate this? Where is your satellite? Maybe they say, "Oh, satellite have nothing to do with the underwater," right? It's crazy. Yeah, it's just so obvious, right? It's just so obvious that it's so fake.
I agree. I think like even like Keith was saying, I didn't pay much attention to that at all. I was just like, oh God, get out of here. It was like, whoop, whoop.
But it makes so obvious that how they can distract people. It's just like the human race has become just so short span attention, right?
Yeah.
They just divert you to one to another thing so that the people don't be on track, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
for
And then
yeah,
when it's done, it's over. That's it. You won't hear nothing again. And they're
yeah,
okay with this. They're okay with leaving it hanging off the edge of a story and no answers or whatever. It's just what's next. You're right. It's crazy.
Well,
It's
just remember, guys, Trump is going to come back in 2024 and save the world.
right. He's gonna do
Oh, he's
everything
gonna
he didn't do
save
the first
us.
time he tried. Right.
That's just how stupid it is. I got people who still believe that. It's like I don't even try to talk to them because there's no way they're going to listen to reason. They are so far down the delusion of the mainstream media. It's a complete waste of time to talk to anybody like that. And it's even with this thing in the submersible. It's just like when I first started talking about flat Earth 4 or 5 years ago publicly, and I put something out about the Challenger disaster being a hoax, and those people are still alive. A friend jumped all over me. Keith, you can talk about flat Earth, but you shouldn't disrespect those people who died and blah blah. I was like, okay, never, you just forget it. You can't talk to people who are so deluded. They have so much faith in the lies of the system. There's just some people. It's a complete waste of time in trying to talk to them.
That's funny, Keith. You're right because you can cover different areas, Antarctica, or all the different topics, but when you hit one of their heartstrings, like a band they like or someone died, they jump right back into the matrix. Stop it! What is the matter with you? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
like
these astronauts, they have high placed jobs. Most of them, they were college professors and all that, but
yeah.
nobody recognizes them in school.
Now I was thinking something you said a minute ago. I didn't know, but you said one of the guys in the sub was a top guy at SETI. Is that what you said?
Yep.
I was like, well, maybe they had to pull all these guys away so they can go work on the fake alien invasion that happens next year.
Oh,
Yeah, one of my science teacher friends who cannot give me one proof for the globe after 2.5 years of us going back and forth. He called there. They said, well, what about all this alien stuff? What about all these UFOs? And I was like, oh, are you getting ready for the fake alien invasion? He goes, what do you mean? What do you mean fake alien invasion? I was like,
oh yeah, they're testing all these false flags to test how stupid the people are and how they're gonna fall for it. It's just an example they are taking and they're working on it, and so that when it comes, they know that it's gonna go very good for them.
Yeah, 90% of the people are just gonna eat it up, hook, line, and sinker, never question anything.
Right. And guys, don't forget that with the chemtrails, as far as I can understand, they're saying they're finding a lot of strontium and barium in there. And barium, I think, of digestion problems, is barium enema. So that could be all the internal problems people are having. But barium and enema are two of the main components in high-tech holograms, and that could be part of Project Bluebeam. which is supposedly the fake alien invasion. And from what I understand, you might not be able to tell this thing's not that you might not be able to tell that thing is fake while you're looking right at it, you know. And you know what's something from another planet, what kind of diseases they could bring, and the cures that they could have for that. So perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I personally haven't bought into that. Maybe is that going to happen in my lifetime? It wouldn't surprise me, but at some point, I think the little leak of Werner von Braun saying the last card they're going to play is the threat of alien invasion. That with the idea of Project Bluebeam just seems to go hand in hand. So, and we've talked about this on these podcasts before, that I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was a mothership over every major city tomorrow morning. I mean, nothing would surprise me. As stupid as the controllers are, or as psychopathic as these controllers are of the system, I don't think anything would shock me ever again. But at the same time, I think all us four here and everyone else that is on this path, whatever this path is, we've got some kind of responsibility to at least let it be known, hey, this is bullshit. They don't trust anything they're saying. They're lying to you at every turn. And there's going to be some people that are already questioning it, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I needed to hear that. Thank you. I put out a video today, and someone said that you're saying my own words, my own thoughts back to me. It's like, I think that's maybe part of our responsibility for these podcasts and whatever else we do, is just to let other people that are already considering these alternative perspectives, to let them know that they're not alone, to let them know that, hey, there's other people out here with you. We've been here for a while, and we're not buying the bullshit either. Not at all.
Oh yeah.
True. It is hard to talk about this stuff until you get a deeper understanding. I think a lot of people say that. I know I went through that too. I didn't say anything for like two years.
Yeah.
Watched. I
The
couldn't
same.
get enough.
I told my science teacher friend, I don't know, a few months ago we were talking. It's like, dude, he sent me a cartoon of the sun, a NASA picture of the sun, total. And I laughed. I said, dude, that's a cartoon. He goes, how do you know that's a cartoon? I was like, look, dude, the sun is not that big. Nothing goes around the sun. The sun is not the center of anything. And he said, dude, do you hear yourself? You sound crazy. I said, yeah, until you look into it, it does sound crazy, because you believe and you bought all the lies for your entire life. But start looking at the sun, moon, and stars yourself and realize what I'm telling you is true.
Yeah, because the final thing is that, yeah, you don't understand, how the thing works, few word of science word here and there, and they think they're speaking the truth or reality, and they know everything, or it's been feeding to them about everything.
It's true. They want to know what's your PhD? Where did you study?
Yeah, he's asked questions like that before. And, I said, dude, I mean, you have worked for the government for 25 years. And I'm sorry to say, but that has turned you into a dumbass. I mean, you can't question anything. You can't give me any answer to any simple question I give you about subjects that you've allegedly been teaching for 25 years. And I pull up some, simple observation and say, explain this to me. And it's crickets. He doesn't say a word.
That's great.
Oh yeah. And flat earth is growing. Yeah, flat earth is growing by day, right?
It seems to be. Yeah, it is. It's nothing like when I first came in.
Yeah, and it seems to be not just flat earth now. It seems to be expanding more into, geography and history and archaeology and other things like this, that people are, okay, now the earth is flat. What else did they lie about? So a lot of people are digging a little deeper down the rabbit hole, and they're finding these other things that they used to believe are true and realizing that's not true either.
Yeah, but it's the catalyst. The flat earth is the catalyst, because once you understand, or once you know that the world, the ground you're standing on is not a ball, that hits you hard. That really hits you hard. Maybe the other conspiracy you understand later, because many things is very obvious. All the other things what they're doing are obvious, and many people can see that, right? Maybe they don't want to acknowledge it, or they don't want to do anything about it, but they know the controllers are what they are doing in the present time. There's a lot of people can see, because all this instant information exchange and everything happening at the moment, many people who have eyes to see are seeing it right in that moment, that this is absolutely bullshit, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
I'm I'm
it seemed.
starting.
Go ahead, Evelyn.
Oh, sorry. I'm starting to think even that the blue beam is also a false flag, because it's so spread. You know, it's so well known within the truther community. I mean, uh, they actually want you to think that. But I think what would be a more believable technology to use would be the same technology. Um, don't know if I can probably take down the whole thing if I say it. Um, the technology they used to put um, the planes in the in the long buildings.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, are you trying to get
yeah.
on to direct energy weapons? Are you mentioning that?
No, I don't think there were energy weapons, because apparently they were working inside, taking stuff away.
A lot of construction
Um,
going on the year before.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, solid
uh,
year. Yeah.
there were policemen telling that it sounded like explosions.
Yeah,
So
which could have
actually,
been
there
like
wasn't
little.
any plane, but you could see it on the screen. So the there was a new technology where they could uh, put live CGI, you know, in on your screen.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think my guess is, Evelyn, that the technology has advanced beyond that.
Mm.
Where if
Yeah.
Project Bluebeam is a real deal, that I think what Gene said is true. They could blast that thing in the sky, and
Yeah.
99% of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, look at that! That's real."
Yeah. Mm.
There's some
But
of the,
it's,
they have even simple ones where there's three fan sets of fan blades with two blades on each fan, and they spin so fast, and the lights, they can manipulate the lights that are in the fan blades so precise that you think you're looking. It's a little cartoonish, not so realistic, but it's pretty awesome to see that this 3D thing is
Mm.
like a butterfly flying in front of you, and then it changes to a fish swimming
Yeah.
around. And so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. It's a little different, but the illusion is pretty strong.
Yeah. And
And that's a toy.
if something happens, then the first place that people would turn to would be the TV to look at
Yeah,
the news.
right. Sure.
And you would actually, from my own country, I would probably see uh, some video from another country, maybe from the US, but I can't see anything out my window. But maybe you in the US, they are showing news from Holland that there's something going on here, but I'm not seeing your news and you're not seeing my news, but we are
Right.
seeing, they are sort of
A
we all are
false
showing,
seeing
version of
fake
each other's
news.
news.
yeah, we're seeing fake news from other countries, because we won't see anything out of our window because there's nothing in the sky. But if we turn to the TV, it's like, oh my God, yes, look in Washington, there's something's happening there. And
Well, look,
people in America, oh look in Europe.
Yeah, it's
have you
like
guys
that.
seen
Nate.
any of the
It's like
anybody seen any of the YouTubes on what's possibly going on in France versus what this don't say in the news? Like France is like really being upturned, it seems, in some places right now.
What I'm getting on the Facebook is that it's a complete mess there.
Right?
But when you
Thousands of cars on fire and tons of
yeah, but
buildings, no windows because of the
but then
people.
But then
freaking
other
out.
people are passing through, because they're on vacation and they go to France, people and they don't see anything.
Yeah, there you don't know what to trust on the TV. It's like the
No.
whole made for TV Ukraine war. I mean, where were the millions of uploads from all the smartphones when all the bombs were going off? I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
see any of that, but we saw stuff on TV on the news stations, but we didn't see anything on social media from the people who
Well,
live there.
it's just like the like when Trump, the insurrection there by the what do you call it? In January 6th, there was the insurrection there, and all the Antifa in the house there, and I was actually watching live from somebody's phone, and what I was seeing on TV, everybody rushing in and big mess and all that, it didn't coincide with what I was watching on the phone live from someone. There was nothing happening actually. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking at the news and I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Because that's not what I'm seeing on the phone live.
There's a lot of that,
Yeah.
With
And then and then I'm hearing all these people saying no, because that was what you saw on the news, that was pre-recorded. They were just visiting, and you actually saw the videos of these people just walking in and taking photos and sitting on the chair and sitting there and sitting there. And yeah, and the rest was a made up thing. Even the lady who got shot.
Yeah, this is the thing. Speaking about the technology, we know that there is thousands of years of deleted, like, advancement that the human being, this part of the world, that these humans, these races, they don't know what technology could exist. So whatever what toys they have for us to manipulate us, we can't even imagine, right?
Right. Yeah.
For us to think maybe it would look so real and it would do damage so real that we would think, what the hell, right? Like the majority. Even for the truthers, it might be difficult because there could exist technology that we can't even imagine, because there's so much of hidden stuff in the middle that it's deleted purposely, and it's been advancing in another part where we don't have any idea that exists. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, not well. They don't. Everything trickles out of the military. If a small business has some idea that's just so fantastic, they get swiped up. No matter how they did, they eliminate it or just buy it. And these big Jeff Bezos guys, these Elon Musk, they are the government. So I don't believe any of that stuff's organic. First of all, and when I was a kid, it was just kind of common knowledge that the military was no problem, no questions asked, 50 years ahead of anybody in the public right now. Behind the scenes, what's coming out of the military, and you see in the street all the VCRs and all the CDs that were coming out, cell phones and blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff comes out of the military. And anybody using their phone right now, you're using a high-tech military tracking device. That's how your phone got started. And they develop it to a commercial, quality. And now we all have that. So, yeah, advancements, how accurate were we walking around the streets talking about the military being 50 years ahead of us? I don't think that was accurate anymore. I think we were short by, another 50 years or so.
Exactly, Gene, because it could be also that this is to show the people, you see how we unadvanced we are if we go under the sea. We are could be done on purpose to show people, oh, we don't have nothing.
Right. Like the shuttle. Exactly, right? Same thing. Oh, no, accident is scary. You don't want to do that. You have access to it, but you know they're going to restrict you, or you're risking your life. And the restrictions are like Antarctica. You know, you could apply to go to Antarctica and do an expedition. The application is like $250,000, and it's got to pass all 52 countries that sign that agreement. And the restrictions that you have to agree to are just absurd, absurd. So you know you got to carry everything in and out. You can't fish, you can't hunt, you can't bring food. It's insane. It's crazy. They don't want you there.
And you have to pay something like $250,000 in fees before you even know if you get approved.
Yeah, that's just for the application.
Yeah, it's ridiculous for the environmental impact assessment.
Yeah.
We're going to help hurt the ice.
And how many? I'm now curious. How many people have actually applied for and paid for that application, and how did it go? What you know?
I bet you not one.
Right.
Which
Zero.
is the whole point.
Yeah. $250,000 application. Oof, that's a lot of money for me. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, we don't know exactly which were the real distractions. Maybe we know few, but maybe we don't want to discuss it here. You know, all the politics, right? So this is just their way to show, you know, that the people who have power, they can do anything, you know. For them, like 250,000, $1 million to go even for 10 minutes somewhere is nothing. And you know, so
right.
yeah, all this Virgin Galactic was taking so much money from the people, right? And
20 years ago.
yeah, and they were like, recently they were announcing, yeah, the first tourists to space are going when, right? CGI visit, like.
Well, even if they have people in a ship going up, if they want to fool them, they'll make those windows a screen, like a TV screen that looks like a window, and you probably couldn't tell the difference. And that could be one of those advancements. You've seen the TVs that are like the size of a building now, and they have dinosaurs jumping out of them, and so it's a mixture of that CGI and the holograms and the mind control with the dinosaur thing.
Exactly.
You know, they never coming from one angle. They don't do They don't do these projects with one goal in mind. There's several goals, sub factions to the goals. Is this, that, and the other thing? It's very complex, very convoluted. And they say the worse the lie, the easier it is to get people to believe it. And that's what's going on.
Exactly. And the other thing also I wanted to add is about those sonar technology, how it works, right? And on a flat realm, it should be really easy to locate through these sonars. And if they have all the towers or buoy, how it's called, the floating devices that you create points, you know, so you can create a grid to get the signals, right? It's all working on a flat plane. And they were like, oh, we cannot find them. Then they're speaking about Titanic location, and they don't have the coordinates, and they can't even, where the hell were they? More than 20 or 100 meters around the point, right? Where the hell are you searching?
Right, exactly. So what do? Drop the submersible off in the middle of the Atlantic and they cruised on over there? It's like, no, exactly. They dropped them off within the range right above this thing. They know where it is. It's a good point. And what kind of currents are down there? I don't know. The currents were bad down there. The ship would be gone, no?
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're like, in the news, they're saying, oh, these people are going into the abyss, the unknown, to search for these people. What the hell?
No, hey, and James Cameron, the guy who did Titanic, was down there 33 times, right?
33 times, yeah.
Uh-huh. So that's kind of funny. And all those, I don't know. Is there a ton of videos? The guy went down there 33 times. Is a lot. Did he take videos? Any pictures? Nothing? Was it? I mean, is it all just private? None of our business? I don't know. Just questions, kind of. It's just weird. You think you'd do a documentary on that or something? Throw something together. How much footage do you get after 33 dives of such a famous piece of history? It's not like everybody goes down there all the time. But that's what I think they're doing with this, is they're going to restrict things. And we might not even know. How am I going to find out unless they say something? Somebody's going to have to go and try and do something. Like I said, I think these submersibles are going to be, within the next few years or so, they're going to be more cheaper and popular. So they had to put a stop to that before it even started.
Oh yeah, and who the hell want to go that deep, right? Who the hell want to go? You want to enjoy a submarine ride, go to a good coral reef, or not that deep. It's more beautiful. What the hell are you gonna see in the abyss?
True. Oh yeah, the light that they had was like 1,000 times brighter than a car light. It was some ridiculous number, but it's crazy amount of lumens, 100,000 lumens or something. What kind of heat do you generate off of that? I don't care if it's LED. Something's got to be hot, right? Something's got to be warming up at 100,000 lumens if that was the case.
Exactly. If you're speaking about some places that is like exotic, tropical, like with undersea water life that is full in bloom and beautiful colors, you want to see that. Those kind of submarines do exist. Those mini ones where you could ride.
Yeah, that would be way more fun if you ask me. I'm not a water guy though. I ain't into the water, but that sounds really cool.
Exactly, and you also have those speedboats that looks like sharks, and you could just they're really fast too.
Yeah.
So there are many ways to enjoy, And no, I'm gonna lock myself in a tube, and I'm gonna go really deep, with a controller. All right, yeah. So it's high time that the people wake up. All right, it just shows how this MSM works, and what they want people to think. Yeah, go ahead.
They were locked into it. They were locked from the outside. So, like, let's say something went wrong and they bounced up to the top. They wouldn't even be able to get out if they happened to be 6 miles off course for some, strange reason. Bigfoot dragged them over there and pulled them off course, riding on the back of the Loch Ness Monster. So the whole thing is just too strange. The tiny, they couldn't even stand up. 4 men and a kid, I think it was, sitting in there, and the bathroom was in the front with a little door to shut. It's just the whole thing is so, reality in cartoon form, though, or cartoon in reality form, which is really what I mean.
Hey, the very first time I heard about it, I thought, man, another stupid story to distract the dumb masses. And, someone pointed out that it was the same day or something that Bill Gates' company got approved to serve all the GMO meat or whatever that they've been trying to get passed for a while. So I was like, oh, look over here. Don't worry about what we're doing over here in the courts, what laws we're passing or whatever. Just look at the submersible. So
yeah, also with something with Biden stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's sleight of hand.
Yeah. So can the people just be entertained and look elsewhere? Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, everything that it happens needs to be like really. It's very difficult for people to separate the reality from the distractions, with the confusions, with a bit of information, with a fake. There's such a huge mix of everything that you could do anything these days, and it's all gonna work how they want, because we know that the majority is just so gone in a way.
You're
Yeah, the
right,
way
because they need to be told very specific things, and if they looking at something that completely conflicts what they've been told, it doesn't matter because they weren't told. You know?
Exactly. Because say, look here.
Yeah.
Everybody look there. Look here. Look there. Look here. Look here. Look there. So that's what is going on. So it's yeah, it's challenging and it's fun too. It just keeps
Right.
separating the because you see there's so many of diet woke people also around there, even in the flat earth community. So it's not easy, right?
Yeah, the way I say it a lot is, most people have lost their ability to discern between reality and fantasy. They cannot tell the difference. And like you just said, they need someone else to tell them what to believe and what to think. I mean, literally, if Dr. Fauci came out and said, okay, everybody needs to put their finger up their butt to keep from getting COVID, people would have been walking around with their hands down their pants.
Yeah, and many many friends around me also gonna say, hey, why don't you follow, right? People in generally we know around, so we have every kind, so it's just everybody's just living this, right?
Yeah, if there's any scary part to this, is just how many people did not wake up over the last 2 years. They went through the last 2.5 years, and they still buy everything that the TV sells them.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Oh yeah, they have already well settled for till 2030. They have every year, every few months, they have everything organized, events, right? So for the big plan, so yeah, today's shows was not supposed to be very long, so we were just having a chat about this. Like, we wanted to do this last weekend, but we postponed it today, and also to say hello back to our viewers and listeners that yeah, we are trying to get back on the track with the podcast. So yep.
Oh, hey, let me throw in here real quick. If any of you guys are listening, who
Go ahead.
I'm messaging with a couple of people, and I just want to say hi to them. And we got a couple of friends of mine from Facebook working on getting on the podcast. So life is busy, and if you're out there, we're looking forward, and I'm looking forward to being on the show with you guys. We got a couple of people from different parts of the world coming on, and we'll figure out what the topic will be, and probably, topic of their choice. So that's exciting. I'm happy to have that. Looking forward, guys.
Awesome, brother. So any last thoughts?
I would say, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead,
I just say it was just good to be with you guys again. I look forward to get rolling again and start digging a little bit deeper and finding more pieces to the puzzle and keep putting them together so we have a better understanding of the big picture. It's been good to be with you guys for, I guess, about the last year now, and I think we have a lot of great days ahead of us of discovery and learning new things that we don't know right now.
Oh yeah, connecting the dots together. All right. Awesome, brother.
Yeah, it's good to be here back, and I hope that we can make some more programs just like this one, just talking about other conspiracies and false flags and all that. It's all very interesting.
Oh yeah, as long as we don't get flagged by YouTube, we are open. But as long as we don't use the hot word. But yeah, today's podcast was a bit of conspiracy about, because it just shows the absurdity of what they can do and what they are doing, and mixing up everything else with that. So they just say for them it's working perfect. So they have their own way, because we think that the social media, the technology is helping us to destroy, or whatever means, try to overcome this indoctrination. In a way, yeah, it is, but this same technology is helping them to get the agenda going through, because of the amount of indoctrinated people that use this technology. So awesome. Yeah. So Gene, any last thought, brother? Or
Yeah, guys, it was great to be back. Good to hear everybody's voice, and always looking forward to the show. I think it was a great topic. It definitely was worth covering, and I found it very interesting. And good to be back, guys. We'll see you soon.
awesome, brother. So all right, guys, for definitely for the next podcast, we're gonna be try to do our usual time what we do, but like today was a short one, but it was us to get back on track. And a hello to all our listeners and viewers. So thank you everybody for being here. Make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host Vikka Draziv, signing out, guys. See you soon. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Astronauts to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.